Good evening here on the Central Riverhawks YouTube channel. And got another coach's interview. Tad Peterson joining us. He is the head coach for Central Girls and Boys Cross Country. First of all, Coach Peterson, thank you so much for joining me. I know it's a little late this Monday evening, but we're always nice to chat with you.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. Appreciate it, and appreciate the opportunity to talk about our Riverhawks cross country team.
Yeah, you guys have had three meets so far. Went to Maple Grove in West Salem way back on August 26th. August 31st, you're at Vernon County Fairgrounds. And last Saturday, you went down to what I call the good state since I'm from Iowa. You ran at Luther. So, how did things go on Saturday, first of all?
Yeah, so Saturday, September 9th, we had a meet at Luther, and then our most recent meet was last Thursday, so just a few days ago in Boscobel.
Oh,
Uh,
right. Luther was a week ago already.
yeah, it catches up fast.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, four meets then.
Yeah, so we're actually today is pretty much halfway through our season. Um, so we're looking at just a little more than 40 days in the rest of our season, and we're going to do our best. We've done really well. We're a small team again this year. We're carrying 8 athletes on our girls team, and we're carrying 12 on our boys team. We've got, which isn't there's 1,000 kids that roam the halls at Central High School, and we're fortunate to have the student athletes that we do. So I'm really thankful those that we have really hard workers come out to our practices and to our meets and put their best foot forward. Statistically, we're actually a stronger team than we were last year. So overall performance, overall race times, our student athletes are doing better than their cohorts from last season. So times are a little bit faster. Those students who returned to us have gotten stronger. And we've got 4 freshmen that joined our team this year as well. So we've got some new blood in the program as well.
Yeah, that's always nice to see some of those freshmen coming out. I on Thursday, I think I remember that was that labeled at like 7 p.m. How did that meet work?
Yeah, so this has become a new trend. It started with a meet in Wisconsin Dells, and they're night meets. So the basic layout in each of them is similar. The courses are marked with lights, and there's big floodlights. So the course that we ran down in Boscobel was at a local park that abuts their high school. So they had the softball fields that have the nice bright lights. The park itself has nice bright lights. And then they actually rolled out some lights on basically like a huge stand and placed those along the course. And then along the course itself, in addition to those lights, there were nightsticks on each side that were lit red and white. So the student athletes could follow those out around the course. They had a gator in the front as a lead vehicle and one in the back as the trail vehicle that also had nice bright lights on the top. Yeah. So this was the first time I've tried on 2 different occasions to get us into a night meet. But we've ran into complications with meet schedules and just attendance. And to be honest with you, it's hard to plan those night meets. A lot of times they take place on a Friday. We have a lot of our student athletes who are also band members. So we don't do any Friday night meets. So this one was on a Thursday, and it was phenomenal. The community came out. It featured mostly schools from southwestern Wisconsin, so a lot of representation from Crawford and Grant counties. Aquinas was there, so we had another MVC rival that we were able to race against. The course itself, while being pretty well lit, was also pretty flat. So just one major hill that the student athletes had to race up 3 times in different directions. And then yeah, the atmosphere was alive. There was a contest for who could be the most the best, kind of the best dressed, There were a couple teams there in different uniforms. Baroque was there, for example, had a Hawaiian theme. Um, there was another team that had a Super Mario theme. There was a team that had a Barbie theme. Our theme was like Space Invaders. So we were the Space Hawks for the evening.
Right.
Um, everyone is decked out in glow bracelets and necklaces and flashing lights. So it was really like everything goes. But within that too, within that festivity is a real race.
Right.
So our student athletes out of the ones that raced, we had 3 students that couldn't participate because of various injuries. But out of the ones that raced, I think we're 90% of them either ran a PR, so ran the fastest they had ever run, or ran their season's best for this year, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So great atmosphere to be a part of. Really fortunate that we were able to get into that meet, and then the way the student athletes performed, it was electric. It was great.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, I've been to some state cross country tournaments or meets, and I know how fun and exciting they can be. But having it at night, that would just be that throw me off a little bit. I think just to try to watch one of those. And well, I know you kind of hit on the numbers that you have. Let's start with the girls' side because I know Nami did an interview earlier today, or was it yesterday? I don't remember the date. They all run together, quite frankly. But how about on the girls' side? Who's all leading you?
Yeah, so Nami had an interview, I believe it was today, or at least I was sent the
I
link
think it
today. So
was.
yeah, Lena Sonnenfeld. So she's a junior. She's a first year cross country athlete. Had done track in the spring and really forged a great relationship with some of our other distance girls. And we're really fortunate to have her this year. Our number one runner this year is a sophomore by the name of Chloe Wynn. So it's her second year as a member of our team. She also runs track in the spring. I can't say enough about her work ethic. When she came to us last year, she was excited to run track, really quiet, just a hard worker. And the growth that she's experienced from last year to this year is phenomenal. We're talking about a difference between her first race last year and her first race this year of a difference of 10 minutes. So a 10-minute
Oh,
improvement time. Yeah, so she has come on just with a fire this season. She's doing a great job. I would say what is the best thing about this girls team this year is our leadership. We're really led by McKenna Klingelhofer and Ella Matson. There are 2 juniors on the team, along with Lena. And Ella and McKenna have really just developed a love for the sport and an appreciation for their teammates. Those girls have really led the way this season as far as the positivity that they bring to practices, the way that they treat one another. I couldn't be more impressed with the leadership that they've shown this season. And then, so we are a fairly young team. We don't have any seniors on our team. So this season is the COVID season. So we have 2 senior boys, and I'll talk to them about them in just a second, but we don't have any senior girls. And that's really a direct effect of our season getting canceled because of the COVID outbreak in 2019.
right.
So we have our 3 juniors, McKenna, Ella, and Lena. And then from there, we have our sophomores. So Chloe, I spoke of earlier, really kind of leading us from a speed perspective. But also Maggie Mock is another one of our sophomores, and Sophia Campa, who's come out, and this is her first season this year. And then from there, we have our freshmen, May Mettinger and Minna Cruzen, who actually attends Polytechnic, but we're fortunate that she comes and runs for us. So that really rounds out our girls team. And yeah, I think one of the dangers of having a small team is that if they don't work well together, it can get a little bumpy. But these girls have really shown an appreciation for one another and a passion, I think, for doing well together, working really hard in their workouts and hard at their meets. And we're really lucky that, yeah, sure, the team is small, but I would take, 8 or 9 girls that are willing to work hard every week over 35 girls that don't know how to get it together. So
True.
I'm thankful for what we have.
Yeah. Well, you could just switch right over to the boys then. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, COVID had really done a number on cross country, and we only have one individual who's been with us for 4 years, and that's Jordan San Miguel. We were fortunate. I think Jordan was inspired by his brother, who also ran cross country with us, and then so he's been with us for all 4 seasons. And then we added another senior this year, another track athlete, Carson Jolly. So he's coming over, really, I think, inspired again by some of those relationships that he forged during the track season. And he's a 400-meter runner, so we're trying to add a little bit of endurance to his skill set. He's doing a great job. Recently, he had set a goal to go sub 20 and ran a 19:04 at Boscobel and just knocked his time out of the park. Again, positive attitude. I think he really, if he doesn't like the workouts, he's not really saying anything about it. He's definitely put in the work, and he's growing. He's just understanding more and more how to be, how to make that transition from being kind of a sprinter to being a distance runner. So he's great. In addition to our 2 seniors, we have returning junior Bodie Nessler. Again, so it's a junior year for him. He didn't run with us his sophomore year. He didn't run with us his freshman year. He came out and ran his sophomore year with us. And Isaiah Yard, another junior, another one of those young people that was influenced by a positive track season, decided to come out and make a go at cross country. Both of those gentlemen doing extremely well for us, running varsity for us currently. So really excited to have them on the team. And then we have, again, too, we're a pretty young team on the boys' side. So we have a number of sophomores that run with us, Cole Falconberry, Lyndon Torkelson, who's currently our #1 runner. He and Isaiah are up there neck and neck, pushing one another every week. Benjamin Mankey coming to us again for his 2nd season as a sophomore, and Colin Ogle. So 4 really strong sophomores that ran with us last year and came back this year and really doing a great job week in and week out, pushing through with those workouts, and staying positive and being an important part of our team. And in addition to those, so seniors, juniors, sophomores, we also have 2 freshmen that joined us this year, Dawson Miles and Jacob Frisia. So that rounds out our team. And again, I can't say enough about the work ethic of this team. They're putting it all together. They're hitting their paces during workouts. They're doing the tough stuff. And I'll say it over and over again. There's 1,000 kids that roam those halls at Central, and 20 of them are out for cross country. I think those are some of the 20 toughest kids in our school. I'm really proud of the work that they're doing and just excited to be with them.
Yeah, distance running is very tough. My wife knows all about about it too. She was in cross country. Again, we're visiting with Tad Peterson, the head coach for girls and boys cross country for Central High School. And well, how about the best performances then? You mentioned who's kind of leading you. When did they get their PRs, and who kind of is leading the charge?
So actually, for both of our PRs that we have had for the fastest of our girls and the fastest of our boys, those came last week at Boscobel.
Okay.
So it's this Greg Bell Memorial Night Meet. Really, just I think the excitement in the air, the course, it was nice and cool, which we have not had a lot of. The course was very firm. It almost felt like running on a track out there. It's been so dry.
Right.
We didn't have to worry about dirt or dust or mud. So Chloe ran her lifetime PR as at leading the team out. McKenna Klingelhofer, she also ran a PR, so she was our #2. Our number 3 was Minna, again, running a season's best. And on the boys' side, Lyndon Torkelson, Cole Falconberry, Isaiah Yard, those guys are Carson Jolly. Again, those guys are leading the pack, and consistently. Lyndon finally, he's proud to say, finally broke the 18:30 mark and ran an 18:24 last week. So doing really well, headed in the right direction.
Yeah, that's I was gonna say that's what you're looking for. As you said, you at the beginning of our interview, you're halfway through your season already. So you have to start hitting those marks and getting up there because sooner or later it's going to be your conference. So then you're going to look at your sectionals and you're going to be right there ready for everything. What do you guys do typically for practice then? Because obviously you can't ask them to run a 5K every day.
That's true. Yeah. So we basically have a 3-phase progression. Our first phase is what I call base building. And then we enter into competition phase. The competition phase for us started last week. Essentially, the competition phase is the meat and potatoes phase. We're really starting to focus on hitting specific paces for specific workouts. We're working sometimes on overloads. So, for example, this week we'll run mile repeats, and we'll do it in an overload fashion. So they'll run actually farther than 5K at a speed that is faster than their 5K race pace speed. But then we'll give them a rest in between those miles, just so they can get the feeling of pushing themselves past that 5K mark, but also allow them some extra time for their body to recover during that workout. So we run so without getting a little too technical, we transitioned from the beginning of our season from a 7-day workout period to a 10-day workout period. And that 10-day cycle allows myself and the other coaches an opportunity to really focus on developing the finer points of pacing and speed in the middle of our season. And then for conference, which for us is October 12th.
I know it's coming around the corner.
Yeah, it's sooner than I like to think about. We'll progress into what I call the championship phase of our season. So during that championship phase of the season, the focus is really on getting our athletes ready for conference, sectionals, and state. We'll dial down the workout duration, but we'll increase the intensity. So the number of miles that they're running per week will actually decrease, allow them to, what we call it, tapering. Essentially just allows their body to rest a little bit in preparation for those really important meets. And in addition to that, we'll also raise the intensity a little bit. So they're kind of gives their body an opportunity to appreciate going fast.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just well, and where do you normally go then? You have to have like 100 different locations then, because you're probably trying to go, well, some days we need to focus on the hills, some days we got to run on flats, other days it's blocks,
Yeah, definitely. So we do take advantage of our park system in lacrosse. We do a lot of our work at the Shelby ball fields. And pretty close to the Shelby ball fields is a park called Haas Park. And there's a nice hill next to Haas Park on Easter Road. So we'll run that. We'll head down to Wygate if we need to do 400 work. So there's a nice, basically one loop around Wygate Park is about 400 meters.
Okay.
We'll run 400s there. We just did a workout last week at Pamel Creek Park. Again, there's a nice loop there. That's an 800-meter loop. We have another loop that we'll do at Bluffview Park, which is we got a mile loop that's paved there. Unfortunately, this year they're doing some road construction there. So the workouts that I tend to do there, we've only been able to have one so far this year, just trying to find alternative locations for that. And then when given the opportunity, especially on those long run days where I know the students are going to be running anywhere from 50 minutes to 70 minutes, we try to get out and go either to Upper Hickson or to Lower Hickson Forest and run the trails there. give ourselves an opportunity to get out of the city a little bit, and then to get on some different terrain as well, so we're not always pounding the concrete.
Yeah, that makes sense too. Yeah, and Hickson's so nice too. I've been up there many, many times with my kids and also just the dog. So it is a nice area to go to. And well, I know that you guys have one coming up too, if I remember correctly. I believe that's coming up Saturday, right? You go back to Maple Grove.
And Saturday is the Dick Mitchell Invitational. So this is the 26th iteration of Dick Mitchell. I was actually just talking to one of our math teachers today. Shout out to Mr. Kaz. We were just talking about all of the different locations that have hosted Dick Mitchell. We came up with 4. So this race, when it was originally created, is created to honor really the founder of cross country at Central High School, a man by the name of Dick Mitchell, who kind of established some of the precedents that we still have today. So we've ran this race at Myrick Park. We've ran this race at Forest Hills. We ended up running this race at Pettibone Park one year. And now we hold the race at Maple Grove venue. So MGV is where we currently hold the race. And this is quickly becoming a destination race for a lot of schools in Wisconsin. I believe it was 3 years ago, they hosted sectionals. And then they had the state championship during the COVID year for the Division III teams at Maple Grove.
Okay.
So a lot of area teams are interested in understanding a little bit more about the course.
Sure.
We've been fortunate too to have a couple teams from Minnesota reach out to us. So we host Eastview, and we host Stillwater High School. We had a couple teams from the Madison area reach out to us this year. So DeForest will be coming and making that trek. It's really just a great venue. It's our only home meet. So it's the only home meet that Central hosts. And it's really just a great atmosphere. In conjunction with the high school meet for the past 2 years, we've also held a middle school meet. So we hosted that alongside Longfellow Middle School and their coach, and really thankful to have that partnership, and really just an opportunity for the younger students to see what high school cross country meet looks like, for them to get a chance to hang out with the other student athletes and really just have a great time racing and enjoying being with one another.
Yeah, and hopefully that keeps that program growing too, and keep those kids out as you move forward too. Yeah, that cross country meet then is this Saturday at Maple Grove. As you said, Coach Peterson, there is a ton of schools going to be there, and I am not going to list all of them. I see them just now. It starts at 10 o'clock. That's the girls JV invitational, and followed by the boys JV, and then the girls varsity and boys varsity are supposed to start 11:15 and noon. Of course, this is all conjunction with the homecoming that's going on too, because there's a lot of things happening throughout the week. So hopefully everybody has a nice, safe homecoming week. And Coach Peterson, do appreciate your time. I know I need to let you go, and I also need to get to bed because it's been a long one already today, and it's been Monday. But yeah, congratulations on all you guys' success, and certainly wish you the best of luck moving forward. And if you haven't been to a cross country meet ever, I do recommend it because it's one of the most positive atmospheres I've ever been to.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate the opportunity to share more about our sport and talk a little bit about our student athletes that put in all the work.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully Nami can get a couple more of your individuals on the Central YouTube channel, as well as we continue our interviews throughout the week and the coming weeks, because they're going to have some big meets coming up. And we thank again Tad Peterson for joining us. I'm Joel McCall. Again, we have volleyball coming up, play-by-play. That's on Thursday on Alaska. We'll have the varsity match at 7 o'clock. Plus, we have football play-by-play on Friday. I have no idea what Nami's doing, so just keep hitting the channel, and I'm sure there'll be more student athlete interviews up, and we might have a few more. We got a couple of things in the works that might not be athletic interviews coming up here soon, so stay tuned for that as well. I'm Joel McCall. Thank you so much for tuning in here on the Central Riverhawk YouTube channel.